Ever wonder how some online programs are able to scale their businesses so quickly? It's easy to look at those people and come to your own conclusions about why they're so successful. But your assumptions aren't always correct, and they don't give us the full picture. The truth is, sales and revenue are just the tip of the success iceberg. The things that take place underneath the surface are what really help to make the most successful online programs thrive and grow. That's why I'm going to share just a few of the things here on exactly how to help you scale your online program into a 6 or 7 figure business. Join me for today's episode to learn the 3 key ingredients to $1 million online program. Hello there, founders. My name is Kamala Brown Washington, and I'm a nonprofit founder as well as the CEO of the Profitable Blueprint and $1 Million CEO Mastermind. And I'm on a mission to help nonprofit founders with online programs just like you all over the world grow your business in a way that's profitable and scalable. I'm having candid and transparent conversations about what it really takes to scale your online business to millions of dollars per year without self-funding or being solely dependent upon grants. Join me to learn the CEO decisions I've had to make, the biggest failures I've had to overcome, and the strategic wisdom that emerged every step of the way. I'm humbled and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to share it all with you right here on Level Up with Kamala, the podcast designed for nonprofit founders with online programs. Let's level up together.
It's really easy to look at other people's success and make assumptions about why they're so successful. Today, I'm going to share some of the things that those really successful businesses are doing beneath the surface, so I can kind of pull back the curtain and share some of their strategies with you. So the revenue and sales are just the tip of the iceberg, but underneath is a whole foundation of what's really making that business sustainable and keeping that business in momentum so it can grow and expand year after year. The number one, or the first key ingredient to building $1 million online program is building connection and alignment with your audience. In order to stand out in these, online streets, you really need to be tuned in to what your audience wants. Your offer should always lead with what they want, because they know what they want. They may not know what they need, but they definitely know exactly what they want. So don't make the mistake of trying to sell them what you think they want. They will begin to tune you out, and you'll end up wasting a lot of time and energy just, yelling out into an empty void. So now if, you have an online program and maybe you're stuck at 6 figures and you're really trying to get to 7, there's a chance that your audience, wants a change over a period of time. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to change your program, but you may need to change the way that you communicate about your program or what you communicate about your program. For example, I'm sure that there's like a ton of benefits that's associated with your online program. And some of those benefits may actually, resonate with your audience maybe two years ago. But now, they found other benefits to your program, or maybe even some other way that you've never really communicated before, and now it's making it more attractive to them to enroll or to, join. So the world is very different post-pandemic, and those global changes have really impacted the needs, desires, and the aspirations of your ideal customers. And what happens a lot of the time, nonprofit founders find that they get into a spot where their revenue is like stuck, right? They believe that What they really need to do is maybe create a whole new program or add on an additional program, but that really is rarely is the case. So you probably don't have to do that. But you do need to change the way that you articulate the value inside of your marketing efforts. And so when you do this, your program will deliver what they want and what they actually need. But in order to grab their attention initially, you really need to meet them where, they are. So now if your online program, hasn't reached six figures yet, and you're probably still working on how to figure out exactly what your audience wants. Because if you're really clear on who your niche audience is, your revenue is going to, increase quickly. Okay. So you might be overly focused or overly complicating your marketing campaign because you want to focus on what you want. And so as an example, my first year with my online coaching program, it was called Create a Charity. And I named it Create a Charity because I thought that's what my audience wanted. I thought that they wanted to know how to start a business. So inside of my program, we meet every Tuesday and we do live coaching and Q&As. Well, most of my clients had already established their 501c3. So about 90% of their questions really wasn't centered around how to get established. It was really centered around how do we make money? How do we pay ourselves a salary? How do we make enough money so we can break up with our bosses, right? How do we run our organizations, full time and still support our families? Or, how do we stop spending so much time writing grants? So about 9 months in, I changed my business model and I actually changed the name to Create a Profitable Blueprint. And because that's what my audience really, really wanted. They really didn't want to know how to create a charity. They really wanted to know how to create a profitable charity. And so what we do inside the program is give them the blueprint, the framework for creating a business model that's profitable in essence, right? So what my people, my audience, what they wanted to know is how to generate consistent revenue without self-funding. So I spent my first year, really learning my audience. I really didn't know what I didn't know, right? And what I wanted to know was everything about them. I wanted to know what they wanted, why they wanted it, what was at stake if they didn't get it. What they tried before to make it work, and why they believed they weren't really getting the results that they wanted. So I learned that if I asked the right questions, I would really become crystal clear on why my audience, my people, my tribe weren't buying, So we'd be chatting, and then sometimes they would say something that would really unlock an entirely new line of questions that I hadn't even considered before. So here's a quick side note. Okay. So we actually give our clients inside of our program, we give them a 4-step framework that consists of instructional videos, templates, workbooks, and surveys of exactly what is needed to build a profitable blueprint based on their specific program in order to attract paying clients. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, send me a DM and, Instagram or Facebook so I can send you a link to my free training. Okay. So the second ingredient to $1 million online program is branding yourself as the go-to expert with your intellectual property. Okay. So sadly, nonprofit founders, or as not nonprofit founders, we try to be everything to everybody. And that's truly a recipe for disaster because one, it just confuses your audience because they don't really know what it is that you actually do until you are able to clearly define your program promise. Your audience can't really trust that you can solve their problem effectively. The second thing is you don't have the capacity and the infrastructure to support multiple programs, especially if you haven't reached 7 figures yet. So when you're able to deliver on your program promise consistently, then you'll be viewed as an expert. It's critical that you pick the one problem that you know you can solve effortlessly. You know how to solve that problem, like walking frontwards, backwards, standing on your head, waking up out of a dead sleep, whatever that happens to be. That's the area that you want to be known as the expert, and that's the expertise that you want to monetize. So we all know, just as an example, we all know that go-to person if you want like that special cake or that special, dessert, right? They know how to bake the cake. They know the ingredients. They're not measuring. They know just how much to put in to get that end result every single time, right? They can dip their finger in the batter and they can taste it and they can determine it has too much of this or it needs more of that because they've mastered the skill of baking that cake and they get the same result every single time, right? So not only that, they know if they're missing sugar or real butter, they know what they can use as a substitute to still get the end result. That's the level of expertise that they have in baking cakes, right? So that's what you want. You want to be effortless in your actions, in the process that you create to get the end result for your client, right? So in terms of your intellectual property, you want to be able to document what that process is going to look like. Because if your audience can Google the answer to their problem, they don't need you. Okay. That's a level up moment. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you really start putting together the framework and the process for your program. You need to be able to effectively document your intellectual property of how you're going to get them to the end result, whatever, their land of success looks like. That's where you want to get them over and over and over and over again. You want to rinse and repeat. Okay. So chew on that. We'll be right back and I'll share the third ingredient to $1 million online program.
Hello, my name is Dawn Robinson. I'm CEO and founder of STRONG, which is an acronym. It stands for Sisters Together Reaching Our Next Generation. We are a financial literacy, financial education company whose mission is to equip and educate women and underserved communities to help bridge the wealth gap. I had established the 501 and I didn't know what else to do, right? So I had established it, thought I had a good idea and didn't know what to do. It was self-funding and found Kamala. So I was in KPAC, our creative profitable charity, then moved over to $1 Million Charity. And then this was just kind of the nice culmination of guidance and understanding and personalities where we were able to meet with some other founders and get in the room with like-minded people. For one, it was just understanding that nonprofit, it is a tax status, not a business structure, and understanding that we are really entrepreneurs with a social mindset and how do we figure out and solve social problems. That doesn't change, right? How do we run our organization and be accountable is key, but the rest of it is our own vision and how we move through that. And then the other one I would say would be how to what they call scale. How do you take the program for where it is right now and to be able to scale that so you can remain as a CEO and stay with the strategic vision and allow the organization to perform with or without you in the day-to-day. Honestly, it's life-changing for me. How am I shifting from what I know as a corporate mindset into a CEO and founder of a nonprofit to be able to maneuver through that and setting goals to achieve $1 million revenue. And those are the things that we've been able to do tonight or over this weekend, just to partner with each other. So Kamala is like a real person, right? So I don't even think she knows. She's kind of like what we call the Oprah Winfrey of nonprofit, and really has a genuine interest in our movement and progress in the organization. She's very transparent when it comes to sharing her knowledge and the value that she's bringing. Again, I think that she's probably easily it's a $25,000 or more value to be able to sit at her feet and just take on all that she's giving you and then walk you through it, not just talk about it, because sometimes there's a difference, right, between this tour guide and a travel agent, right? A tour guide takes you where they've been. A travel agent sends you off and tell you it's a great experience over there somewhere. So Kamala is the tour guide, the nonprofit tour guide, and has been life-changing for me. That's all I can say about Kamala. She's just amazing.
So today I'm spilling the tea on the 3 key ingredients to $1 million online program. The third thing you need in order to scale to a 6 or 7 figure online program is implementing strategies and systems for a consistent client experience. All right. That's right. It's not just about marketing and selling. You also have to deliver on the promised result. And you have to do it in a way that's sustainable for you so that you don't get burnt out. So there's 2 main things to consider when it comes to really creating that consistent client experience. The first is the initial onboarding. When it comes to creating a stellar onboarding experience, you really need to prioritize connection. And that's because it's normal for most, new clients or new customers to feel a little nervous, like right after they make this purchase, right? So if your onboarding experience is planned correctly, you'll be able to support those nervous new clients and turn them into thriving clients that won't stop telling everyone about how incredible your program is. Okay. The second key to a consistent client experience is that you need to have a sustainable support system. I'm sure you can, do a great job supporting 20 new clients in your program this month. But what about 200 or 2,000? Not just this month, but every month. They're enrolling at different times. So when our clients come to us, they're not just interested in enrolling, as many clients in their programs as humanly possible. They want to make sure that they're enrolling as many new clients as possible in a way that doesn't sacrifice the integrity of their program. Get that? So they're here to make a difference, and they want to give their clients the desired result. And transformation has to be executed as promised. So, years ago, when we decided to limit our program, like before our program offered like lifetime access, and then we reduced it to 12 months, but yet we incorporated progress check-ins with our coaches. So periodically, when our clients hit certain milestones within the program, they'll schedule a one-on-one progress check-in with a coach. And we are making sure that they're hitting the right milestones at the right time so they can achieve that desired result, which is 6 figures by the time they finish the program, right? So at the time, my director of operations asked, well, how are we going to set this up so that our 12-month clients get the same result as those who have lifetime access? And so my response was strategically, and with the right systems. That was my answer. That's how we're going to make sure that they get the same result every single time. And so what I've seen again and again from our clients is that they're able to design a sustainable support system that enables their clients to get the results that outperform anything that they were ever able to do before they actually enrolled into the program. And here's why. Marketing, selling, and delivering your online program with a proven framework ensures that the right people are investing in your program at the right time for them. It has to be the right time for them to invest, not when you want them to invest. And so that means that once they've gotten into your program, you've already taken them on a journey of curated content that's broken down their limited beliefs and has shown them what's possible. And that has galvanized their commitment to getting the transformation that they actually, desire. So you see, society wants us to believe this misconception that nonprofit is a business model, but it's not. Nonprofit is a tax status. That's it, right? So you have to determine if you want to have a nonprofit business or a nonprofit ministry. Neither are right or wrong or good or bad. They're just different business models. And a nonprofit business, must operate like a for-profit with a social cause. Therefore, your business model has to be designed to generate monthly revenue by charging a fee for a service, a product, or a membership. So just like, you think about hospitals and universities, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, nonprofit museums, they all charge a fee for a service or for a membership. Nothing changes. And a nonprofit ministry offers free services and is totally dependent upon grants, fundraising, and contributions. So, you have to understand that nonprofit is not one size fits all. It's not. And as a business, if you're going to operate as a nonprofit business, which prayerfully, you are, because that's who this podcast is for, you have to have a strategic business model and make chess moves, not jumping all over the place like checkers. Okay. And as a business, your business model acts as a revenue generating catalyst that builds connection between you and your prospects. So we covered the 3 ingredients to $1 million online business. 1, connection and audience alignment. 2, building a brand with your intellectual property. And 3, implementing strategies and systems for consistent client experience. I hope this gave you a couple of level up moments. I hope you enjoyed this episode and found value in my content. If you haven't done so, I invite you to subscribe to my podcast. And if you want to learn more about how to turn your online program into a 6 or 7 figure business, then I invite you to join me in my free masterclass. I'll share exactly how I was able to generate millions in revenue with my nonprofit program. I look forward to hanging out with you the next time on Level Up with Kamala, the podcast for nonprofit founders with an online program.